Okay, so for week 11 of fall anime, it's been a very interesting week. Most of these shows are finished and about to finish, and basically just like a feel good conclusion to all the great stories that we got this season. A lot of just unique shows. Some of them are like diamonds in the rough where you never expected what would happen and it impressed you. So, yeah, let's get into it. And also, I was a little bored, so I started watching a new random show that was airing this season, Adachi to Shimamura, and I thought it was like pretty decent. It wasn't really a deep show. It was basically exploring like two girls that kind of just skip school for their own reasons, and we can tell very quickly that there's like some Yuri relationship forming. And Shimimura is like the main character. We see the story from like her point of view most of the times. She's like this blonde haired, kind of social, but kind of like antisocial at the same time, where she kind of like closes herself off from people, ghosts people. Like she doesn't make the effort to make the first move. And then there's Adachi, who's a black haired, kind of like quiet, shy, just introverted girl. So it's basically exploring how Adachi can like break out of her introverted shell, but then still not be creepy to Shimimura because like Adachi has the stronger feelings for her. So like she wants to hold her hand and make it natural. Also, it's like kind of in a world where men don't exist, so it's basically just females in a Yuri situation, similar to like a Wataten or a Yuri Yuri type of show. But yeah, I guess it's not really a deep show, but it's like pretty simple and nice to watch. And I really like the kind of accuracy they had of introverted people. Like Adachi is basically trying to go out of her way to do stuff, but then like she kind of like cringes or it just regrets anything she does. So it's just like kind of inferiority complex. And I guess like being kind of like having a crush on someone and just like navigating your way. How do I like make this natural without being like super creepy or having ulterior motives? And then Shimimura is actually pretty interesting since she seems to be like the more outgoing person, but you can tell on the inside she's kind of like a little bit sociopathic where she only hangs out with people because she's like forced to. It's just like is like there's no other reason. But yeah, Shimimura really doesn't like people that much, and then she thinks herself as like cold-hearted in that sense. But yeah, just the interesting development between two girls that are just kind of similar in personality types, but also like one is introverted and one is just like antisocial, I guess. So I do recommend checking it out if you do like drama between like high school anime girls. Okay, so for Jujutsu Kaisen episode 12, fucking emotional ass episode again we have. I thought like the episode before where they did in Junpei's mom was hard, but this one was rough. So Yuji is at school trying to stop Junpei from like killing people, and then Junpei is telling him that like people don't have hearts. It doesn't matter what I do to them, because like he can't really imagine a person that can curse his mother like having a heart. So yeah, he also reveals this new curse technique. It's pretty cool. It's like a jellyfish that poisons people. So the name of his Shikigami is Moondregs. And yeah, his poison is like pretty strong. He can just like shoot it out at people. Thing is, Yuji isn't really affected since he's so strong. So he just punches the jellyfish. He scraps. Like cool fight scenes all around. And then he like yeets Junpei out of the window. And then yeah, the music was also really good here. Just like all throughout, I was like, damn, how many tracks do they have for battles? It's just like pretty amazing. Yuji kind of convinces Junpei to chill out. Like maybe we could work together to see who cursed your parents. And then Mahito comes through. And then you know how Junpei's like, nah, chill, Mahito's fine. But no, Mahito actually betrays Junpei. He kind of calls himself foolish. And this is kind of like a funny thing. It's like he called Junpei, oh, you're almost as foolish as the people you call foolish. So you know how Junpei like kind of hates people? But yeah, Junpei's kind of even more dumb since he trusted Mahito. And then Mahito betrays Junpei and turns him into a monster with this idol transfiguration. He's like this grotesque, big-headed monster, and he's starting to fight Yuji as like a monster form. And then Yuji's just so sad. He just wants to change Junpei back. Like he doesn't deserve to be a monster. Like he was being used. It was just so sad for him. So then Yuji desperately asks Sukuna to come and help him. Like Sukuna has the power to like revert people's souls back to normal. But yeah, Sukuna just laughs at him. And then he refuses, and then it's so funny. They both start laughing at him, Sekuna and Mahito, because Yuji is so powerless. Yuji got the whole squad laughing right there. And then after that, Junpei just dies. Like I was kind of I was kind of unsure if he actually died or this was like, oh, they said he died, but he might revive later if they beat Mahito. But yeah, I think for all intents and purposes, he dies, which is like really unexpected since I saw in the OP that Junpei and Yuji kind of hung out together. Like Junpei was part of like the Jujutsu Academy. But yeah, that is not the case. I thought it'd be kind of like a Soul Eater Krona type of vibe where he was like a evil character. He became good, but people are still wary of him. But no, he's just like a random side character that got killed for like just character development in this arc. So yeah, this show is not afraid to just like introduce characters and just like, oh, they're not important, we'll kill them, even though they're like pretty well developed. But yeah, we only met him for a few episodes, so the fact that they did kill him isn't really like the biggest deal. But yeah, it was just like pretty sad all around. So then Yuji kind of goes berserk. He tells Mahito he's gonna kill him. He actually punches Mahito and can damage him since he can see the shape of his soul. I guess since he has like Sukuna powers inside of him. But then even though all that happens, Yuji still gets like kind of like stabbed and skewered a lot. He was like punching Mahito, but Mahito kind of like attacked him. He gets saved by Kento, and then there's like a team up between Kento and Yuji. It's like a pretty cool final boss showdown that's gonna happen next episode, I guess. This episode was very sick, and I was just like kind of sad that Junpei had to go like that. But yeah, it kind of establishes that this show like is not really safe. Like anyone can die basically, so don't expect stuff. Like Kento could even die soon, so you know who knows. Okay, so for the Wandering Witch episode 12, this is the finale. And I guess it was like a great finale, just sums up kind of Elena's story, but leaves room for more adventures that she can have. So Elena goes to a place where all your wishes are granted. Alright, nice place to go, I guess. We don't know her wish, but then basically she kind of sleeps and then wakes up to like a place where she sees like the whole world that she went to. Like it's kind of like a foggy dream world, and then she sees like all of her adventures. Like there's like the flower bush where like the people died. There's like the castle where she saved Mira Rose. There's like the place where like she got her hair chopped off by the creepy dolls. So yeah, basically just like a medley of all her adventures. And we don't really know why she's there, but then she goes to Mira Rose's castle and she sees 15 other Elenas. They're copies of her with different personalities. So it's kind of like a funny hijinks thing where it's like, oh, there's like a smart Elena, there's like a stupid Elena, there's Elena that only cares about money, there's like a depressed Elena, there's like a slime and ghoul Elena. So yeah, a bunch of just like Elenas. I guess they went through the same path in life, but with slightly different for variations. So then the regular Elena that we see, it's kind of funny because the smart Elena is like the leader, and then she tells Elena that, oh, since you have no defining personality, you're the protagonist, Elena. It was pretty funny because that's like kind of accurate, I guess. And she's like a blank slate. I guess she's like very greedy and self-servant, but besides that, yeah, she's like the protagonist. And their goal is to have to protect them from the violent Elena, who just wants to kill everyone for some reason. And yeah, they don't really want to kill each other because, like, if you kill one Elena, maybe all the Elenas will just die. So then Elena and the violent Elena start fighting. They're pretty evenly matched, and then as they, like, have a stalemate and just, like, collapse on the floor, they talk to each other. And then the protagonist Elena just asks her, oh, why are you doing this? And then the violent Elena says, oh, I've seen things. I was too weak to save these people, etc., etc. That kind of took a toll on her. So she's kind of angry at herself. She wants to attack herself because she hates how all these other Elenas are just carefree on their journey while like other Elenas are suffering. So she hates herself in that sense. But the normal Elena told her that her wish was to see the other Elenas and their choices they made. And they kind of just like make up, just like, oh yeah, it's no biggie, like it happens. Now we learn from each other. We're not sad anymore. So the other versions of Elena hang out, they sleep together. And now Elena wakes up in a field. It's all a dream, I guess. At the end, she bumps into this girl named Amnesia. So I guess that's like a season 2 girl. They like swap diaries. So I guess Amnesia is a witch that forgets, so she writes down her life. But then she picked up Elena's book. So they'll probably have to meet up with each other to switch books again. Besides that, this season was very nice. Like very unexpectedly good slice of life type of show where it's just like kind of adventures, like fairy tale adventures. Like most of these stories aren't really original stories, but like they're rewritten with anime girls as the protagonists. And also like the environments are very clean and nice, just like kingdoms and forests that are just like amazingly well made. Animation is fine, characters are great, so yeah, I really recommend this show. It's kind of like a standout this season just because it had like a mix of emotional content and as well as just like relaxing chill vibes. So it's like you never know what you'd expect from each episode. That's why I really liked it. Kind of an unexpectedly good just slice of life adventure show. Okay, so for Akudama Drive episode 11, it was pretty interesting because in the beginning of this episode it was just like a repeat of episode 1 with Swindler going for takoyaki and bumping into the courier. We see a bit of Courier's backstory where he does a job. He picks up some lost money, and you know how he like hates picking up lost money because like after he did that, he goes home, and then someone cuts his hand off and kills his mom. That's basically everything we know about Courier, and yeah, pretty tragic. But I guess that's why he's like an Akudama now, just like a victim of circumstance. And yeah, they're basically in a time loop where they keep repeating the 500 yen pickup, and Swindler is like living her life like without meeting the Akudama in episode 1. She's just like home relaxing, and Courier is like with his mom, I guess. But then the gadget that they got from Hacker, it kind of wakes them up from the loop, and then they wake up in the Shinkansen train, and they're in the Kanto region now. So Kanto was that like utopia, but then they were saved by Hacker because then their brain was just like kind of gonna shut off when they were in this time loop. So then when they're in the Kanto region, it's like kind of like a debris filled sky. It's like a zero gravity, just bunch of debris in the air, just like kind of like a wasteland. People convert their mind into data into the supercomputer, and that's how people live now. It's just like all their consciousness is in one supercomputer. It's kind of like a cliche sci-fi theme, which is like commented by Hacker. Like, oh, I can't believe they do this cliche shit. But yeah, that's how it is. It's not that bad. I was just like happy to see this conclusion to it. Just, oh yeah, this is the end goal. It's like a place where there's no people. It's just all their memories and stuff are in this one supercomputer that like makes all the decisions. And I guess that's like fine. It's like a good future reason. It's like, oh, this is the utopia, and then the dystopia is happening in the Kansai region where everyone is rioting and like living as people. Also, since the supercomputer tends to degrade, they're data transferring it like a hard drive transfer into the little kids, the immortal kids. Like, so like they'll have the data stored inside of them. But it's kind of like torturous for them, so Swindler tries to save them, but yeah, there's like a big barrier, so she can't, but then the Hacker helps. So then Hacker goes into like a tunnel of information to try to save like the kids who are in the middle. And then yeah, he gets like attacked a bit, like he's like weakened, like a bunch of his body parts are being like removed because he's like bumping into this train of information. It's kind of like a Bayonetta level, just like a magic tunnel with a bunch of like symbols. But then yeah, at the end the kids like they become a little self-aware and then they free themselves. And yeah, the supercomputer is destroyed. So I guess like the Kanto region is just like about to be like eliminated, like all this information is just gonna be gone. And then I think the Hacker dies. Like he kind of makes a farewell speech and gives Swindler like coordinates to a mysterious place where they might find refuge. They start vibing in the ending. Like everyone is just like relaxing on the train, happy as they go back to the Kansai region. Although at the end, I think it's a preview, the train gets shot by like a particle cannon. So this conflict is not over. It looks like there's gonna be a fight. Swindler and Courier are just like in this train and it got shot down, so they're probably injured, and it's probably going to be like a chaotic run back to find refuge. So yeah, finally the big plot is revealed. The utopia that we know as the Kansai region is just like a supercomputer. People don't live as people, they're just like information and data. I guess it's pretty interesting. I just like how kind of the characters interact, and the story is very self-contained, so you know what to expect, and then like this is the final mystery that'll be solved. And yeah, now that there's no mystery anymore, it's just like a rescue of Swindler and the kids and Courier and seeing how they'll survive at the end, or if like the world is like fucked and they're gonna die. So we will see. Okay, so for Haikyuu to the Top season 2, episodes 11 and 12. Yes, this is the finale. It basically shows how Karasuno won. They used the power of Hinata outsmarting the twins minus tempo attack. He helped guard the final play, and then they retaliated and won. Very great win for them. Basically, this season was very nice. It's just them getting stronger and celebrating. You can see them on TV and everything. All the characters having fun, and then we get some new character introductions. So yeah, the Nekoma School is next. It's like a rematch. So yeah, that'll probably be in a season 5. That I think will definitely happen because you can't just end the anime on just like mid tournament level. You got to finish the tournament. But yeah, overall the season was decent. Like it was a solid, just more Haikyuu. Another solid, consistent entry. Hinata like kind of plays defense more, more teamwork, more individual backstories to see like how strong people are, like, trying to surpass their limits and just like reaching new levels of competition. Okay, so for Tonikaku Kawaii, episode 12, this is the finale, and it was a pretty big slice of life finale. Nothing major happened. It was kind of just Nasa and Tsukasa chilling at home. They were kissing and stuff. I think they were going to some festival where Tsukasa was wearing like her yukata, and then Nasa got all horny this episode too. So yeah, just more married couple things. I was actually surprised. Like I knew the season was ending in episode 12, but then this episode, like we learned not too much about Tsukasa at all. I thought like we might get like the last episode of Slice of Life where we it hits hard and then we get some emotional reveals, but no, it was just more married stuff. So overall, the season was very good and consistent. Just like a nice romance story. Like if you like romance, like you'll probably like this anime. But I was just like kind of let down at how we got nothing of Tsukasa's backstory. But I mean, yeah, typical anime. Got to read the manga to find out more. So yeah, nice, comfortable show. And yeah, very solid romance. I like the unique idea of them getting married episode 1. So that's just off the table now. So everything that happens now is just not like a couple trying to get together. They're already together. It's just them having fun and being married. And Tsukasa has that mysterious backstory of her being like a super strong supernatural being, but we don't really know too much yet. Okay, so for Attack on Titan, the final season, episode 3. It's pretty interesting because we see little Reiner growing up in the military, and he was growing up with his friends becoming the next Titan candidates. It was stuff that we kind of already knew, but like more of a Reiner's perspective just shows like how this dude is so broken, how like he was kind of like last in line in being the armored Titan, but since he was so loyal and his friend wanted to protect his brother, like the original Jaw Titan, then they made it so Reiner took his place, and Reiner thought this was like great like honor becoming the Titan to like be in wars, because like his mom kind of brainwashed him saying all the people from the island are evil. Yeah, Reiner living with them, like hanging out with Eren and all the people, they were just like normal like people, like they had lives, they had families. So the fact that like Reiner's charging forward like in his mission, it kind of like makes him like depressed, like having a dual personality, and we see that here. Also, we see that when the Jaw Titan died, they wanted to abandon their mission, Reiner, Annie, and Bertolt. But then Reiner became the new leader. He like kind of developed the personality of, oh, I'm gonna be the guy in charge now. And then yeah, they do their thing. They hide out. They try to get information, and then Reiner wants to do more. But yeah, we saw how that turned out, where he lost all his friends. And in the end, we're in the present time. He puts the shotgun to the mouth, about to pull the trigger. Reiner about to kill himself, and then Falco like punches the wall outside of his room because Falco was angry about some other stuff about being the armor titan. So like unrelated, Reiner gets saved by plot armor again, and he does not kill himself. But yeah, very cool showing how he was so depressed. The only saving grace is like these children, but something might tragically happen to them as well. So yeah, just being Reiner is suffering. And then at the ending of this episode was very cool because there was the disabled guy who only has one leg and an eye patch, and then he talks to Falco, and he's like, "Oh, thanks for rescuing me the other time. You have a good heart." And then we get like a front face showing of that guy. He looks suspiciously like Eren. So these guys are like undercover spies. So I'm excited to see what that's about. Okay, and now for Sports Climbing Girls, episode 12. This is the finale. And I really love this anime. So right now the combined Japanese high school cup is happening. Kurisu and Mimu, they kind of dominate the speed climbing. Konomi breaks some PRs, but just Kurisu, she has something called stick ability, where she can kind of climb any type of wall and stick to the rocks very easily, which kind of helps her not fall and just like be really fast and just adaptable to any situation. But it looks like she's going harder than usual. Like she's expending so much of her stamina just showing off and just being like the best, like the fastest, just because she wants to get into Konomi's head and all the other girls' head that they're not like anywhere close to her. They can't reach her. So yeah, there's a weakness there though, because she's tiring herself out. So yeah, her school takes the first competition, the speed climbing, and then the second competition, bouldering. It's kind of shown off screen, but then it's like an even spread. So like Shinari, the zombie climber, and all the Black Panther girl, Kanomi, Nonoka, and June, they all do well in the bouldering. And now it's all up to the lead climbing, which is just you have like 60 seconds to analyze the wall, and you have to climb on the spot. And you have 8 minutes to climb this. And literally no one can climb this. Not even the kind of star people can climb this. They all keep falling. So then Cool Kurisu goes up, and she goes up really fast. And she's like doing pretty well. She has like a checkpoint. But then you can see how tired she is. Like you have 8 minutes to climb this. She's trying to do it in like 5. She tries to jump from the one obstacle to the final one. And her hands slip at the top. So right as it looks like she was about to get it, her hand slips. And yeah, she gets a 40-point climb on this wall, which is like better than anyone else, but you know, she couldn't complete it. So now it's up to the Hanyama girls. They're all 3 are up. June goes first. She climbs really well. It's kind of like her rejuvenation. She hasn't climbed in 6 months, but she has a better mental headspace now. And yeah, she gets up. She gets like visions of like her friends cheering her on. And then it's kind of funny because she sees the cat girl and then she slips at that moment. But then she does well. She gets a 36. And then Nonoka comes in. And yeah, she's very flexible. She kind of worked on her weakness of being so short. And then she was like able to reach the rocks that she couldn't reach before just by like stretching and using like her fingers to like inch a little bit away until she like can grab the rock completely. So yeah, now she can climb. So now she's more efficient at climbing like harder, longer reach obstacles. And yeah, she goes up to 40. So about the same as Cool Kurisu. So now it's Konomi's time. She analyzes the wall, she climbs it. This is the culmination of all of Konomi's training. She's climbing hard. She's securing herself. She makes the checkpoint. She dusts her hand. And then we just hear a lot of tension being built up. Her breathing hard for like 20 seconds as she makes the final jump and completes the wall. Konomi's the only one to finish this problem, and as a result, Hanyama School takes it, number 1. They show Cool Kurisu that they can also be cool. This is all what it comes down to. And yeah, this anime was very entertaining. It did everything right that a sports anime should do, in its own flavor with these muscular rock climbing girls. So it taught us about rock climbing. We learned about all these types of problems, body types, gear, equipment, bouldering, and exercises you can do to improve your skill. Also showed a lot of competitions. So it was basically a culmination of some training arcs and just competitions, just 3 competitions in a row. And yeah, all of them, they built up upon each other. And yeah, great original anime. I highly recommend it. Very informative, fun, and just like a unique concept that was done really well. A lot of like waifu characters. I guess one gripe I had with it was we had so many characters, yet like not a lot of them got their time to shine. Like Adachi, like the spider lady would do stuff, or like girls from like the other schools, but yeah, there were just so many characters. It's not a bad thing, but just like if you had a favorite character that wasn't like properly showcased in this anime, then yeah, you'd be pretty sad. But overall, just like cool villain, cool heroes, just like fun, comedic, informative sports anime showing. Okay, so for Danmachi episode 12, this is the finale. Interesting season finale here for season 3, where the last episode shows Hermes as like the plot twist evil villain that wants to have Belle kill all the monsters to increase Belle's standing in the world. And it's not really a plot twist because we know like the gods have their own self-interest. Like we always thought Hermes was kind of like a funny background character, but he kind of has his own malicious goals. But overall, like Hermes was stopped. Like Belle and Freya, I think they were kind of teaming up to showcase how they can fight the monsters, and then it's like a cool kind of spectacle. And then after their fight, Belle loses, but no one really knows. So all the Xenos live happily ever after. They don't die. and then everything's just summed up like happily ever after. I guess nothing really happens or is resolved. It just shows that like humans and monsters can't be friends.